and we're making mac and cheese today. How are you? It's a beautiful day. Lots of rain and clouds overnight, but the sun came out and it warmed the earth. It felt so beautiful. Plants came out and smiled and was grateful for the sun. Hey, Lucy and excuse me, Lucy and Sulaco beat Frank here today. Hey, Lucy, how are you? So we're making mac and cheese, and before I get started, I just want to remind you there's only a few days left to book your ticket for Nanny Bubby's Holiday Gather, Tuesday, December 14th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about how to be loved and create more love in your life during the holidays, how to give and receive that kind of love. Hey, Bobby Robbins. So I hope you'll join me. There's only a few seats left. I'm so excited to tell you, but I want you to be included. So if you're here and if you're tuning in, whether you're watching this taped or live, taped a little bit later, be sure to book your holiday ticket. The link will be right below this video, and I'll say it now, it's nannybubby.com/holidaygather. Hey there, Frank Solly, nice to see you. You had 2 people beat you here today, so you're getting a little slow on the pushing the button, Frank. So let me talk about this mac and cheese. And also I want to tell you and remind you that I will not be here tomorrow because it's Thursday, and I will be on Channel 8 tomorrow. So you'll have to stream it on at 8 News Now, Las Vegas Now.com. So, mac and cheese. So usually I pick my granddaughter up every Thursday, but I have a meeting at Channel 8 tomorrow after my show. And so I have to pick her up today. And she stays late on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And I bring her home, and it is my joy and pleasure to feed her. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you. Just my absolute joy and pleasure to feed her. And she has really become addicted to Box Annie's mac and cheese. It's so horrible. Yes, you're slacking. Hey, Chalana Fox, how are you? Nice to see you. So happy to have you here joining us today. Anyway, I'm trying to get her off that box everything because there is no nutritional density in powdered dehydrated cheese that is in that box. I mean, we can all agree to that. So I am making today mac and cheese off of this fabulous recipe that was given to me by Donnie Hamrick on my KLAS show exactly 2 weeks ago. And it was absolutely fantastic. I have switched out a few things from his recipe because his was more of a side mac and cheese for adults for Thanksgiving. So let's get started. The first thing that I did is he uses penne pasta in his recipe, but what I used here is a combination of the farfalle, or what we call bow tie pasta, and the fusilli, which is the curlicue pasta. And what's really great about that is that kids like to sort of see fun. Hey, Lynn Buchanan, so nice to have you here. Kids like to see these different textures and different patterns when they're eating. So I mix half a box of the fusilli, curlicue, with a box of the farfalle. So there's, you can see the bow tie pasta here, and the curlicue fusilli right here. There you go. See that? And that's it. So now we are bringing and heating up, melting 6 tablespoons of butter, and we are going to gradually add this flour, 6 tablespoons of, maybe it's 8 tablespoons of flour, which is about a half a cup. You can find this recipe on my website, nannybubby.com, and it'll be on the sides. And we're just going to add just a little bit of flour, little by little, because we are going to make a very silky roux. Although there's a little bit of the pasta still stuck to the bottom of this, but I don't think it's going to keep it from becoming a good roux. So let me move this just a little bit. The way that this pot is heating is a little bit uneven. So let me, and I'm going to turn down the temperature, because we really want to make this very, very, very silky, little by little by little, because the magic in this is in the roux. So let me tilt you down. You make sure that you can see this. More important that you see the roux and what's in the pot and seeing me. This is really getting beautiful here, nice and silky. Go. And I'm gonna take this and see, I bought this. It's a whisk of a different kind, and I keep trying to use it, but because in this coated pot, I don't want to scratch it, but for whatever reason, I keep going back to the wired whisk, so there we go. So that looks very beautiful. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 1/4 cups of milk. So, ready? This is the 1/4 cup. We'll add that in. And we're going to keep whisking this because we want it to, you know, I always say that I always watch people sometimes adding their wasabi to the soy sauce, and I do it the other way, is I add my scoop, and that's why I don't use that whisk. I add my my soy sauce to the wasabi and little by little incorporate it, and that way it's smooth and there's no lumps. So this is, let me get this in here. Go. All right. So if you like sushi, I'm concentrating on this roux, so I can't think of what I'm even talking about here. If you like sushi, you eat a lot of wasabi with your soy sauce, always add your soy sauce into the wasabi. Don't add your wasabi into the cup of soy sauce because it will be for sure lumpy if you do that. So there we go. This is starting to thin out now. It's got to have a really nice white texture. You know, really and truly, the key to mac and cheese is the roux. And when I first started cooking, I thought mac and cheese was just macaroni with melted cheddar cheese on it. And boy, was I wrong. Because if you don't have a roux that you've made for that cheese to melt in, you are not going to have a very good mac and cheese. And that is the key to this, because this is becoming, now you can add a little bit more. Oh my God, every time I whisk, I lose about a tablespoon of milk over here. Okay, there we go. See how silky, I mean, this is the key here, is the silky smooth roux for the mac and cheese. I've never seen myself struggle so much in adding anything. Hello there, Dan Schwartz, how are you? Nice to see you, nice to have you all join me today. I'm seeing new faces that don't come here. I've got my regulars that absolutely come every day, whom I love and adore. It's always a race to see who's coming and who's gonna beat who here. Okay, now we're gonna let this just thicken, and I'm gonna wipe up my mess, including the whisk that I dropped. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I really, really made a mess over here, but that's okay, right? At least we're having fun. Okay, Laura Brown is here. Hey, Laura, nice to see you. Trelana Fox. Shalana said, let's see, can you use coconut flour or almond flour? I would say yes. And you have to experiment. There's always levels of what you can use and what you can't, meaning this is a half a cup. Maybe you need a little more of the almond or coconut. Maybe you need a little less. I'm not sure. Because I don't experiment all that often with the substitutes, but listen, people do it all the time and they get great results. So I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. It will not turn down. This is fantastic. Let me turn it off, turn it back on. There we go. Oh my God, what is going on here? Okay, hi there, Laura. All right, so next we are going to add mascarpone. So this is what really makes this fantastic. I need a place to put all this. I'll tell you, if you're joining me for the first time, you're going to think I'm a comic over here, but usually I'm pretty on top of things. This has just been a fiasco suddenly. But how fun is that? This is what really happens in the kitchen, right? We drop things, we mess things, things go flying. end up on the floor. So, okay, look at this. Look at how this mascarpone, which is an Italian cream cheese, it calls for 4 ounces. Hey, Karen Bachelor, nice to see you. I have that flatwoods too. I never use it. Yeah, I thought it would be great because it's silicone coated, Lisa, and I thought it wouldn't possibly scratch my enamel La Crusades, or however you say it. I know your French is better than mine. I just don't like it, so I use this wired wrist, and I think I'm gonna let that thing go, right? Pass it on, give it away, take it to Goodwill, don't let it take up space. Why let anything that frustrates us stay in our space, right? Get rid of all that. So look at, just look at this. Look at this, Karen Bachelor, do you see this? Give me a thumbs up if you see this. This is amazing. Look at how creamy and beautiful. Okay, so after the mascarpone, we're gonna add the Parmesan. Again, I am making this mac and cheese for my beautiful little granddaughter, my little doll face, as I call her, who I pick up after school 1 day a week. I wish I picked her up twice a week because she and I have so much fun together. We absolutely are crazy about each other. And out of nowhere, she just requested that Nanny Bubby pick her up on Thursdays, even though today's Wednesday, I can't go tomorrow, so we substituted Wednesday. Okay, look at how this has calmed itself. The Parmesan is melted inside this. Put this down, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And now this recipe actually called for white cheddar, but I'm not using the white cheddar because these kids are used to eating mac and cheese out of a box with dehydrated cheese, which has absolutely no nutritional density to it. And anyway, so the bottom line is I am substituting yellow cheese for white cheddar. Now, if I were making it as a side for Thanksgiving like Donnie did, I would absolutely use the white. But because I'm making this for my granddaughter, I am definitely going to use only the yellow cheese. And so 8 ounces of yellow cheese, and then another 4 ounces. Look at that. Do you see? Oh my gosh. Yep, smart choice for kids, right? Just add that. Look at that. So there, oh my gosh. Look at that. So I'm going to turn the fire off. We're going to add salt, kosher salt, of course. And remember, I mean, I say this every day, but you really can never oversalt with kosher salt. It is the best seasoning you can ever use. We have a teaspoon of nutmeg here. Okay. This is the freshly grated nutmeg. I have a little bit left over. I'm not going to put in too much for her. And a little tiny bit of black pepper, which I only have a little bit left. It's time to grate some more. Which I use the whole black kernels in a coffee grinder. That is what I use. Okay, look at this. Let's get this all mixed up. Now, if I were doing this actually for adults, I would also add just a touch of cayenne to this. Just gives it that extra flavor that you don't know what it is, but you just know you like it. Just, you can taste that flavor. Okay, now let's see. Open this. I'm going to add a bag of this in with the rest of the cheese. Make it nice and yellow. I mean, honestly, if I didn't hate food coloring and really concern myself with it, I would literally add a little bit of that yellow food coloring into this just to trick her little brain into thinking it was dehydrated, bad for you mac and cheese that she's used to eating. But it's against my, oh, but this is turning really nice and golden. Look at that, so great. All right, all the seasoning is in. I'm just gonna give this cheese a little more time to melt its way into the roux, into the sauce here. It's so beautiful. Oh my God, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, if there was ever a thing of beauty, I mean, no wonder, just look at that. I mean, it looks like frosting, doesn't it? And we all know how we love frosting. I mean, keep the cake and give me the frosting any day of the week. And this is turning nice and golden. Oh my God, beautiful. Okay, look at that. And now, as if let's see, I'm drooling. Thank you. Yes, yummy, exactly. So as I mentioned before most of you got here, this is a combination of the bow tie pasta and the fusilli pasta. And I do that because kids like different shapes and textures in their mac and cheese, really. You don't know that they do, but they do. I figured that out. And so I'm just gonna shake this in. Whoop, I guess it all came out at one time. But once it hits the heat and this cheese, it's gonna all get incorporated. In fact, I might even just take my hands in there and toss it around. But here, let's see how this is. There we go. I'm gonna use a spatula to mix it with. So it's pretty incorporated in there. That's it. Where is my spatula? Right here. Okay, there we go. Just getting it all in there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this into this big baking dish, as you can see right here. Hey, Kathleen Bowman, nice to see you back again today. And after it's baked and then cooled, what happens is stick it in the refrigerator just till it forms up, and literally you can cut it in big squares and then take out each of your squares and put them in small food saver bags, maybe 1 square or 2, depending on how many kids visit at any one time. And literally every time my little doll face comes to visit me after I pick her up from school, I can just defrost one of those squares, and I have macaroni and cheese to last a couple months. And if she likes it, and I have no idea if she will or not, right? Because she's used to the other kind. But if she likes it, her memory will always be that after school, hey Lynette, she will come over and she would always have mac and cheese at Nanny Bubby's house. So, you know, for me, cooking is my love language. Cooking, and I'm guessing it is for the rest of you, because honestly, the first way we learn to love is because those who cared for us when we were born actually fed us. And we learn to bond with those that fed us. And as life goes on, you continue to bond. You continue to walk into your mother's or your grandmother's or grandfather's home and smell an aroma that was an aroma of love. I mean, first we eat with our eyes. Well, actually, first we eat with our nose, because we smell something long before we see it. Then we see it and we eat with our eyes, and then we taste it. But our nose and our eyes actually ready the digestive juices in our stomach for what is about to come in. And those smells absolutely put smiles on your faces. Okay, Biggie is here. He wants you to know he's here. Comes down every day at 2 or 3 o'clock to bark and let us know that he's here, right? Those of you who join every day are used to hearing that. So what is it that you remember as a child was a dish of love that was served to you? Can you guys type that in the chat? I'm always interested to hear what it is. I mean, for me, it was fried matzah, it was French toast, it was, I mean, I hate to even tell you this, but it was chopped liver. My grandparents made the very best chopped liver ever. I also love the smell of a steak broiling under the broiler. Love that smell. I still do. Even though I always barbecue my steaks, but when I smell a steak under the broiler, I love that. My mince. I don't know what my mince is. Is that a typo, Lucy? Is that a typo? Because I don't know. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna just move this off right here. Move this on. I think you can take the heat for just a minute. Cinnamon rolls, okay. And Lucy, what are you saying? I'm just trying to figure out what it is you're saying. So I feel like that's an autocorrect typo. So now we're gonna take, oh my God, this is heavy. So sorry about how I'm displaying this in front of you for just a moment. This is a heavy pot, but oh my, is it beautiful. Ugh. Oh, it smells unbelievable. I need somebody to hold the pot here. It's falling into itself, but listen, when you've only got two hands and there's no one else to hold up the pot for you, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Yell, Biggie, come help me. Okay, there we go. Ugh. There we go. All right. Let me just scrape all this delicious cheese right off the sides here and get it in. Can you guys see this? No, you cannot. Cinnamon rolls. I love cinnamon rolls. My mom's spaghetti sauce and meatballs. Now that's a good one, right? Who that is Italian that has a last name like Insalaco does not think of Sunday? I'm sure after church you'd come home to a big pot of spaghetti and meatballs, right, Lucy? That's what I'm guessing. So who wouldn't love that smell? The family together. I mean, it must have been absolutely wonderful. Lucy comes from a big family, I'm aware, and how fantastic is that? I think it's amazing. Okay, so now, just to make sure it is yellow enough for this kid, I'm gonna take the remaining half a bag. Yep, Lisa with the spaghetti and meatballs. Let's see, Trillana Fox said, Mom would make fresh cinnamon rolls Sunday morning and fresh pasta, hang them in the laundry room to dry. Oh my God, yep. And Wednesday night, so I'm wondering what's up with the Wednesday night. That was a thing. That was a thing. So, like, did you guys have catechism on Wednesday nights? Like, I'm thinking catechism was on Wednesday nights, right? Am I right? Back in the day? And I don't even know what catechism is. Just like, none of my friends knew what Hebrew school was. But they always knew that, yeah, I mean, we all knew what we were doing. We didn't really understand what we were all doing if it wasn't part of our culture or whatever it is, but we all knew what we were doing. But am I right, Lucy? Was Wednesday nights catechism? You had to drive the kids to catechism. I don't even know what that was. I don't really know. Okay, there we go. But I did happily run off to church with my Catholic friends, and I love. Listen, I'm a big ritual person, so I love the rituals of the Catholic Church. They're very similar to Judaism and ritual, and I absolutely adore that. Okay, throwing this away, wiping the hands. I'm going to show you just a little bit of the end of this, right? Okay, so let me see. My grandmother used to ask her sons, boys, how many pounds should I cook today? Really? That's amazing. And Lucy said, no, just midweek, no catechism because we went to Catholic school. Ah, lucky you, right? You didn't have to study outside of it. I think that's actually a benefit for most kids. So, okay, can you guys see how nice and yellow? Isn't that beautiful? So this cooks at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes, which is really amazing. I think I'm gonna put it into the oven, I don't know, maybe before I leave? I don't know, let's see. No, I think maybe I could put it on a low oven before I leave, right? Like maybe put it at 300 when I leave, and then when I get back, everything will be hot and melted, and I can put it out for her. Now again, actually, I'd really like to show you what I do. I want to go grab the other frozen bags that I have. Give me a thumbs up if you'll excuse me while I run out to the freezer. Can I get a thumbs up? You guys will hang in there. Trillana, you'll hang in. Lisa, Lucy, who else is here? Lynette, Kathleen, everybody. Okay, Frank, stand by, let me show you. I know you can still hear me because I have my headsets in. But, opening the freezer now, pulling this out. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, going to do, I had this from when I did the show the other day, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in squares. You can really actually see the squares. Can you see that? You can actually see the squares, and what I do is just take them, put them in these little food saver bags, and when she comes to visit, I mean, I only have these 2 left, which is why I'm making a big pot again. But when she comes to visit, then she just has this. I'll go to pick her up. I'll just take one out because she'll probably only eat a half of one. And I mean, it's just amazing. And then I'll have it in there when Jax comes, whom I call Mr. President. I call him Mr. President all the time, and he's starting to respond to it. Also, I think that he's left-handed, and did you know that over 75% of all the American presidents were actually left-handed? So it's kind of coincidence that I started calling him Mr. President, and don't you know, he's left-handed, I think. I'm pretty sure he is. Anyway, just a little aside. Don't know if you knew that. In fact, that's how I knew Barack Obama was going to beat Hillary Clinton, because I saw them at the UNLV. They did a debate there during the, when he was during the primary, Democratic primary, and I was watching him take notes, and I went, my God, he's left-handed. He's going to beat her. And there was no chance in hell that he was going to beat her at the time, and he did, right? Because he was left-handed. Anyway, it's very superstitious like that. So this is what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take all of this, I'm going to cut it up in, squares, chill it so that you can just lift these little squares out, put them in the Ziploc food saver bags, stick them in the freezer, and voila. J-O-I-L-E, voila. That's it for me, everybody. Thanks for joining. Just a reminder, please join Nanny Bubby's Holiday Gather. It's going to be amazing. There's only a few limited seats left. The link will be I will post it right after I post the video here. But if you just want to go to the link, the PayPal link, it is nannybubby.com/holidaygather. It's going to be so fun. We're really going to talk about love during the holidays. We're going to talk about giving love and receiving love and how that can be done through food and entertaining and bringing people together. I think this time of year we all crave intimacy and love and bonding, and honestly the greatest gift I think that we all really want during the holidays is not a food mill or a knife sharpener. It's really just love given and received during this time of year. So that's what we're going to do on Tuesday, December 14th. I don't know why I want to say June 14th. It is December 14th, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're joining us from the East Coast, it's 9 p.m. to you. $97 gets you a ticket, and it's not just a ticket for you, it's a family ticket, so your wife, husband, son or daughter, granddaughter, grandson can join us if you would like. So I hope to see you there. Limited seats, so it continues to be an intimate experience, and seats are going fast. All right, everybody, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go out and spread love like butter. Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.